What's going on, everyone? My name's Mike and welcome to another Pokemon Challenge video. Today we're going to be seeing if you can beat Pokemon Ultra Red using a new team after every gym. So the rules for this challenge are going to be pretty simple. I can only use a maximum of 3 Pokemon per gym, no items allowed in battle at all, and I will be allowed to use HM Pokemon as they are needed. So let's jump on into it. We start the game out naming ourselves Mike, and then we name our rival Sub to Me because that's what you should be doing while you watch this video. Alright, so now it is time for us to pick our starter. So I decide to go with Burnosaur because for the first gym it's going to add a bit more difficulty for me. So our rival ends up choosing Seamander, and then after this it is time for our first battle, which I immediately lose. I have high hopes for this run already. So after receiving the Pokedex, we can finally catch our next 2 Pokemon. So we catch a Poochiever, and then we also catch a Sneeko. After we catch them, we have our first rival battle, and we absolutely destroy him. So after this, now it's time to head off to Brock, which we lose. So we try again, and then we lose again. And then finally, on my 3rd attempt, we manage to pull it off. So Brock leads with Crustike, and I send out Sneeko. 1 feint attack is enough to bring it down, and out comes Masita. With my newly learned Fury Cutter, I start to set up, and I take it out in 2 hits. Next out is Isacoon, which goes down with a crit Fury Cutter, and then his last Pokemon, Carbolt, gets taken out 1 shot as well, getting us the Boulder Badge. After beating Brock, it's time to get our next group of Pokemon, so we catch ourselves a Fandicite, and then we catch a Starite. After that, we beat up some nerd in a cave with a very interesting rock collection, to which we decide to help ourselves to. And after that, we catch our 3rd Pokemon, Fomal. Our rival is ready to battle us again after this, and we destroy him yet again. We save a mad scientist who can't stop testing things on himself, who gives us free cruise tickets in return. And now we're off to Misty. So the battle with Misty, we start out with our Fomal against hers, and we take it out with 1 Body Slam. Next out is Goltide, which goes down after a Body Slam and 3 Bubble Beams after healing up with a Super Potion. After this, we swap out for our Fandicite as she sends out Tartler, and we set up a Sandstorm in order to get rid of the Drizzle. So we go for a takedown, which does a little bit over half of her health. She ends up healing up with a potion and an Oran Berry, and 2 more takedowns is enough to finish it off. Our last Pokemon out is going to be Syrinx. So we stay in to try and get some damage in, but are outsped and get taken down. So after this, we send in our Fomal once again, which 2 Body Slams KOs, and we beat Misty and get ourselves the Cascade Badge. Alright, so now it's time to catch our next set of Pokemon. We catch a Bushru, Rustyage, and Severum. Go on to the SS Ann and beat our rival and make him wonder why he left Pallet Town in the first place. Go rub the captain for HM cut, and then it's off to Surge. So, with the battle with Surge, I'll lead off with Bushlash as he sends out Elix. One Razor Leaf is enough to KO, and out next is his Linode, and is taken down in 2 slashes. After this, we swap out to Severum to take on Blitzeus. We barely hang on from a Flame Wheel that deals massive damage to us, and we take him down with 1 Drill Run. After this, we swap out for Rustyodge, and he sends out Fearolt, who goes for the double protect followed by a charge. We take 2 Drill Pecks and finish it off with a critical hit headbutt. He then sends out his Moaroth next, and we stay in to try and outspeed, but end up getting knocked out due to a Volt Tackle. So Severum comes out, and thankfully he uses Charge, and we get the super effective Drill Run off. And after healing with 2 Super Potions and using Charge yet again, we take it out with a Dig, getting ourselves the Thunder Badge. Our next 3 Pokemon we pick up are Volstix, Steeloo, and Ferris, and it's off to take on Erica. So Erica leads off with Fernamoth, and I send out Omniscience. We get some decent damage off before we're taken out by 2 Air Cutters, and we send out Titanial after this, who ends up taking her down with 1 Iron Head. Out next is Latticeire, and we take it down with 2 Iron Heads. We then swap out for Sinistales as she sends out Marshwine. We go for the Will-O-Wisp, and she full heals, and we follow up with 4 Nightshades. But unfortunately we're taken out, and we bring Titanial back out. She heals with a Hyper Potion, and we finally manage to take it down after several hits, and it healing us with a Bubble Beam. Out next is Chorus, which we managed to take down after 3 Iron Heads. And her final Pokemon, Royal Lotus, is next. Iron Head is super effective, and after 2 of them, we pick up the win and get ourselves the Rainbow Badge. We head out to catch our next 3 Pokemon, which we pick up a Smoglu, a Bellpowder, and a Viragon. Beat Giovanni in the Rocket Hideout. Happily put our rival in his place, and save an old man who gives us a magic flute that raises the dead. Off to Koga we go. Alright, so Koga starts off with a Metaclops and a Noxiora in a double battle, and I start with my own Noxiora and Chernobyl. This fight mostly consisted of me spamming Air Cutter with Noxiora since it hits both Pokemon, and whatever else made sense with my other. So I Flamethrower his Noxiora and get it to red health, which he uses a Hyper Potion to heal up, and we are then able to take out Metaclops and crit Noxiora at the same time. Out comes Taintuck, which we Flamethrower and do over half health to. Another Flamethrower kills Taintuck, and he sends out Playgron next. He uses another Hyper Potion, and we use Mud Bomb for the super effective hit on Playgron. And then Chernobyl goes down. We continue spamming Air Cutter, and we use Shockwave on Noxiora, and they're both left on minimal health. Finally, we KO both of them with Air Cutter, and he sends out his final 2 Pokemon, Nefario and Glimpale. Shockwave on Nefario is a crit, and then we have them both under half with another Air Cutter, One more round of a water pulse and air cutter combo gets us the soul badge. We go to pick up the next team, which is going to be Fwampy, Pixini, and Evie. We then head to Silphco and have an easy battle against our rival and Giovanni, and then we move on to Sabrina. So Sabrina leads off with Cloystar and myself with Techneon. I go for Tri-Attack and she sets up Reflect. We use Smart Strike, which doesn't do much, and she heals with Recover. Another Tri-Attack gets us the Paralysis, and then one more Tri-Attack KOs. Out next is Zenchamp, which hits hard with Brick Break, and it falls in love with us due to Cute Charm. After 3 Tri-Attacks, he goes down. We swap out Boggaros next to take on Houndunami. We use Earth Power, which does huge damage, and luckily he sets up a Calm Mind and goes down next turn. Next is Sparkory, which sets up a Future Sight and goes down with 1 Earth Power. Pyrokinno comes out and goes down in 1 shot as well. And last out is Solnova. We swap out to Pixini to try and take the Future Sight, but fail to do so. Techneon comes out and takes the hit. And then we manage to get a few hits in, and she sets up a Light Screen and Reflect before taking us down. I send out Boggaros next, and we Brick Break to get rid of its shields, and then one more Brick Break leaves her on critical health, to which she heals with a Hyper Potion. We get her down to critical health again, and she uses yet another Hyper Potion. Finally, after a few more hits, we take her down and obtain the Marsh Badge. For our next gym, I decided to use only 2 Pokemon, and I pick up Kung Fudo, which I got from the Martial Arts Master, and Cherry Pick, which I got from one of the workers in Silphco, and it's time for Blaine. He starts off with an Explobat, and I start with Kung Fudo. He sets up a drought with his ability and goes for the double team. We hit with a Brick Break to do over half, get hit with a Wing Attack after that, but it doesn't do much, and bring it down with another Brick Break. Next out is his stun plays, and we use Stone Edge, which kills in 1 hit. Next out after that is his Samurott, and we go for another Stone Edge and almost kill and take a strong Fire Punch. He heals with a Hyper Potion. We almost kill him with a Brick Break for him to heal up again, and a Brick Break and Mach Punch bring him down. We swap out for Cherry Pick, and he sends out for a tier, it's a fortress that's like a meteor. We take his flamethrower but get burned and go for dig. We hit him very hard and then he kills himself with explosion. Necrotomic comes out next and he misses a submission, and we deal heavy damage with Dark Pulse. He confuses himself with his berry and wastes his turn with a full heal, and we KO with yet another Dark Pulse. Outlast is Sutillery. We fall to our burn damage and bring Kung Fudo back out and KO with 1 Stone Edge, earning ourselves the Volcano Badge. After this, we're forced to go and save a small child from a Hypno. We pick up our next 3 team members, Talamence, Latticeire, and Flarados, and it's time to take on Giovanni. Giovanni's is yet another double battle, so he leads off with Medarth and Kragler, and I send out Flarados and Latticeire. Kragler sets up a Sandstorm with his ability, so I start off with a Scald to get the 1 hit on Kragler and use Mega Drain on Medarth, which does almost half. Medarth proceeds to spam Hurricane, and Severum comes out. Flarados uses Outrage to KO Medarth, and my Giga Drain almost kills Excali. Outrage takes out Severum, and Giga Drain KOs Excali. Out next is Kataroa and Drilldrio, so I go for Outrage again with Confusion while Latticeire goes for Giga Drain. Outrage KOs Kataroa and Latticeire misses Drildrio, then KOs Flarados with Earthquake, and I bring out Talaments. Next turn, Giovanni heals with a Hyper Potion, and we start to work on the KO, and he puts up a heck of a fight, but eventually goes down after a few turns, earning ourselves our final badge. So we're down to our final Pokemon team to take on the Elite Four, and I choose Parasi, which was obtained from the Old Amber, Tectania from the Dome Fossil we got on Mount Moon, and Violu, which we got from the top of one of the buildings in Celadon. Our rival shows up again, and then left as quickly as he got here, and the final showdown begins. Up first is Lorelei, who starts with Torchill and Eruptice. I send out Tectania and Nefario. I go for Poison Jab on Eruptice and the one-hit KO on Torchill with Flamethrower. Out next comes Freezulb, which goes down with a Rock Blast, and Cool Caddy takes a little damage from Dark Pulse. We then Brick Break Eruptice with Nefario and KO Cool Caddy with Flamethrower. Out next is Blizzmaiden and Glacier. Blizzmaiden goes down with one Flamethrower, and then Glacier goes down with Earth Power and a Poison Jab. Bruno is next, and he leads with Swashbull while I send out Parasi. I use Psychic for huge damage and take about half from a Sword Strike. He heals next turn and gets taken out with one more Psychic. Out next is Fur Arm, which we do huge damage to with Psychic, and he takes us down to 1 HP with Dynamic Punch. We hit ourselves in Confusion and then send out Nefario. Poison Jab KOs, and out comes Senseion. We KO with a Crit Fly, and then we swap out with Tectania to take on Boxaking, and Earthquake and Earth Power KOs, and out comes Beneteer. One Flamethrower is enough to take it out, and then another Flamethrower is enough to take out his final Pokemon as well. We take on Agatha next, and she leads with Zodum, and us with Parasi. Dark Pulse KOs, and out next is Pellastorm, which goes down to 1 Dark Pulse as well. Snorcest goes down in 2 hits, and we swap out for Nefario against Nobodinja. 2 Poison Jabs KOs, and we stay in to take out Claypore in 1 Dark Pulse. We send out Tectania against Hypnoplasm, and after being put to sleep a few times, we take it out with a couple of Earth Powers. Our next battle is against Lance, and is another double battle, and he starts with Dracperior and Flarados, as I start with Nefario and Tectania. Earth Power is a one-hit KO on Flarados, and Nefario's Dark Pulse does a little over half on Yveldo. Meteor Mash does little damage to Nefario, and Dark Pulse KOs Yveldo next turn. Out next is Leviatops, who goes down to an Earth Power and Dark Pulse combo. Forestar comes out, and Nefario goes down to a Dragon Tail while we deal half health and get the burn on Forestar. Bug Buzz KOs Forestar, and Flamethrower does minimal damage to Dracperior. I then Flamethrower and Leech Life Dracperior into red health, and is then KO'd by his burn, leaving only Thunderius. A Flamethrower and crit Leech Life sends Thunderius into red health, but is healed by a full restore, and after a couple more turns, it falls to another Flamethrower Leech Life combo, bringing the final member of the Elite Four down. And now our final fight is against our rival once again. He leads off with Dusharp, and I send out Nefario. I use Dark Pulse for a little bit of damage, and he uses Cosmic Power. Next turn I KO with a Brick Break, and out comes Talaments. I stay in and hit with a Brick Break for little damage, and he uses Return for the same. I follow up with a Dark Pulse, which does good damage, and he uses Earthquake, which hits hard, but next turn I bring it down with another Dark Pulse. Silazard is next, and I swap out with Parasi. 2 Bug Buzzes brings it down, and Scarados is next. We stay in to take it out with a one-shot Leech Life, and Eldraine is next. We stay in and go for a couple of Bug Buzzes and are taken out by an Outrage. Nefario comes out and sadly does little damage before being killed. Tectonia then comes out and KOs with 2 Flamethrowers, and his Chernobyl is last. We take it out with 1 Earth Power, and just like that, we're the champion. This was a heck of a video for my first challenge run. I ended up clocking out at 111 in-game hours of playtime just to finish it, but it was very enjoyable to do though. This has been one of the best ROM hacks I've played, just for the simple fact that every single Pokemon has a different form, and it was interesting to see all the new type matchups that you encounter, and that made the experience that much better. I highly recommend this game for anyone who is interested in ROM hacks. If you like this video, please give it a like and hit that subscribe button for more. I will definitely be doing more of these in the future, as this was a great way to spend my time. If you have any suggestions for what you'd like to see me do in another video, please leave them in the comments below, and I will see you all next time.